Okay, so I really had to make a video on this one because this is crazy, bro. I did not expect this chapter. Sukuna has possessed Megumi. Like, bro, what is going on, bro? This chapter is absolutely crazy, but we have some more spoilers we need to get into before we get to that point, so let's start from the top. So before we get into the actual spoilers, hats off to King Jinwoo on Twitter for providing us with the information. So it says here that on page 1 to 2, the chapter starts with a short flashback when Megumi has met Sukumi after she had woke up from the coma. Since she was asleep until then, she says it's a bit difficult to walk. He then reassures her that everything is going to be alright, and Sukumi, the imposter, teases him. And of course we have the panels that show Sumiki in the actual hospital in a wheelchair, but I'm not going to post it due to copyright reasons. So let's move on to the next one. So it then says back to present just before the imposter added the rule. Yuji monologues as he watches Megumi reunite with his sister and thinks everything's gonna be over and okay once Gojo is freed. He thanks Megumi and Gojo for giving him a role. It then says Kogane adds the rule that allows players to enter and exit colonies. When Megumi asks who she is, the imposter wickedly replies, "It's your sister," and she says his name as well. It then says incarnate, which might be the name of the spirit itself, or it could be like a general term that refers to people who possess others. So we'll see when the chapter comes out. It says incarnate can gain modern knowledge from the brain of the vessel by reading their memories and act as the vessel themselves. The imposter says they haven't fought in 1,000 years, so they want to choose the place, and the opponent will be Sukuna. So this is where we get into the juicy bit. It then says the imposter flies away using the newly developed wings. Yuji and Angel immediately starts to chase, but Sukuna's mouth appears and utters the keyword of the binding vow with Yuji. And if you guys don't remember, this binding vow was made between Yuji and Sukuna when Sukuna brought him back to life. And the deal was basically that Sukuna would possess Yuji's body for 1 minute after uttering the keywords, which he just did in this chapter. And within that 1 minute, he won't kill or hurt anyone, but Yuji won't remember about this binding vow. So Yuji himself is unaware of this binding vow, even though he made it with Sukuna, because that was the term of the deal. So now Sukuna has used the binding vow, so we'll see how it plays out later on in this chapter. So it then says Sukuna swiftly knocks down Hana and slowly lays her head down. He later explains his binding vow to Megumi, saying that he will switch over for 1 minute when the keywords are uttered. He won't kill anyone at that time, but on the condition that Yuji would forget about the vow. Sukuna then says it's a gamble from now, and then imbues some sort of curse energy into his finger and tears it out. So when it says that per the panel, we see that Sukuna holds on to Yuji's pinky finger, imbues energy into that finger, then rips it off. Then it says that he later laughs at Yuji being stupid because he never mentioned he wouldn't harm himself or Yuji during that 1 minute. So basically Sukuna is saying that he found a loophole in the binding vow, which I would say like it sort of makes sense, because like I guess he's saying he said he wouldn't harm others, he didn't include himself and Yuji. But the thing is that per the words of the deal, he said that he wouldn't harm anyone, and anyone includes Yuji. Right? Yuji is not Sukuna, so if he harms Yuji, then Yuji would be another person he's harming, right? So Yuji should be a part of the binding vow, but for some reason he isn't. So I think Gege kind of slipped up here, because like he's trying to find a loophole in his own binding vow that he created, but the loophole isn't there. The loophole that he's using right now isn't really there if you really look into it, if you're trying to be technical about it, because Yuji is a part of that vow whether you like it or not. So we'll see how that plays out. It then says Megumi instantly tries to activate the Mahoraga, but Sukuna quickly tackles him and cancels the summon. It then says Sukuna feeds the curse imbued finger to Megumi. Yuji is back, but Sukuna has taken over Megumi's body. Now this is where this kinda gets complicated, right? Because people have assumed that Megumi is somehow dead because Sukuna took over his body using the finger, which might not be the case, because it could be a similar case to Yuji, just possesses his body temporarily then goes back to hiding. So I think Megumi might be alive, and then again, if you look at the rule, the binding vow says that he can't hurt anyone. So let's say, you know, we remove that other technicality, because yeah, Yuji should be covered under that because Yuji is not Sukuna. But let's look past that as well. Megumi is also another person. So if he did in fact kill Megumi by transferring the fingers to him, he did hurt someone, right? And that was very intentional because he should know that that's what was going to happen. So I think that also violates the binding vow. So unless Megumi is still alive, there will be some serious repercussions to Sukuna for just killing Megumi, which violates the vow. So we'll see how that plays out. All in all, this chapter seems to be pretty amazing, and the chapter after this one, boy oh boy oh boy, like that chapter is gonna be crazy, bro. That chapter is gonna be crazy. So we'll see how that plays out. I'll actually save my entire thoughts on the chapter when the actual chapter comes out to get the actual proper translations, and then we'll do like a review and see how it plays out. So until then, let me know your thoughts about the spoilers themselves. Drop a like if you like the video and subscribe for more JJK content. Until next time guys, peace out.